Welcome back to Articulate with Steve McJones. This week, the great Romaine Rosner. Are you kidding me, dude? Roast Battle Champ of Philadelphia on my podcast? For real? That's too much. Me and Romy met at 2 Street, of course, because where else are you going to meet people in Philadelphia? And she's amazing. And you're going to be able to tell that by everything that she says in this podcast. And I don't even want to waste any more of your time building it up because it's already going to be amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Romaine Rosner. Have you seen 2017 Louis C.K.?
No.
You haven't seen Louis C.K. 2017? Are you opposed to Louis?
No, I like Louis. I just haven't seen it. I've seen, yeah.
You've seen his other stuff?
Yeah, I've seen Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang? What is that?
He wrote that.
I don't know what that is.
Pull it up.
Pull it up.
Pull it up.
Pootie Tang.
Is this a Philly movie? No.
Holy shit. Is that...
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock?
He wrote it.
That's crazy.
I think Louis C.K. wrote it. Yeah, and directed it. It's really good.
Ooh.
Jennifer Coolidge, Wanda Sykes.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Well, in 2017, he has this bit where he's like, yeah, I'm not gay, but like, you know, I want to wear somebody's sweater. I want somebody to come up behind me and hi. He just like does a little funny thing. But yeah, that's what I want to be BFG for, you know.
Yeah.
just to come up and like rap me. But yeah, I guess we can start if you want, ladies and gentlemen. Romy Rosner, how you doing, Romy?
Doing well.
Yeah. So well, I am curious about you because you seem like you obviously. I mean, you knew Louis C.K. wrote Pootie Tang. You know what I mean? With your like background. So first of all, like, when did you start? You grew up in what, around here, right?
Around here, yeah, just outside.
Okay, so when did you like when did you become interested in comedy? I guess.
Oof. I mean, I started.
You have a really weird background, actually. I listened to the Akash episode with you, and I have a couple points that I want to bring up with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't you like grow up in the 50s or something?
I grew up in the 50s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a time traveler. I'm a stand-up time traveler. I do my racy material then.
Yeah.
I do my PC stuff now.
Yeah, if you look back, I'd be canceled. But
yeah.
You were grandfathered into it. You're like a Dave Chappelle or like a
Yeah, me and Lenny Bruce are tight.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
No, but
did a bunch of cocaine. I'm so sorry.
Did so much blow.
Yeah, when you were 9.
Yeah. No, the first time I ever did stand-up, I was 16.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, actually.
And it was probably the best set I've ever had to date.
Really?
I destroyed.
Did you?
No, it actually wasn't that bad.
All right, well, that was your first set, but like when, I mean, obviously you thought about it before then, right? Mm-hmm. So like when you were a kid, did your parents show you comedy? Did you just watch like Comedy Central or?
Well, my parents are both really funny.
Okay.
More so my dad than my mom. Don't tell her I said that.
Yeah, no, there's a funny joke that you just talked about something your dad said about like Anne Frank.
Oh yeah, she wouldn't. Yeah.
We don't have to get into it.
They don't want to hear my material right now. But yeah, always watching comedy, that kind of a thing, and I always loved roasts. But yeah, Akash and I were talking a lot about comedy on his podcast. Right. Well, I mean, I want to get more into like different elements of, because it seems like you're into documentaries and stuff as well. So I was curious as to like, did it start with comedy or did it start with like, I mean, when I was a kid, obviously I just got into like, I started with like The Big Bang Theory. Dude, I love The Big Bang Theory.
Do you actually?
No, I actually do. I think it's really well written.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, I enjoyed it when I watched it, but I don't think I could go back and watch it now.
No,
I was like 8th grade.
Yeah. I'm in the 8th grade, so it's...
Okay, so it's still fire.
Yeah.
Bazinga!
Yeah, no, I love watching... I like, from a young age, like, I can even remember, like, 1st grade, I was just a great liar.
Oh, really?
I would just lie all the time. But not like a bad lie, but like just like more exaggeration of stories.
Okay, fun little white lies.
Little white lies.
Yeah,
and it starts there. And then...
Is there something specific that you had in mind with a lie that you tricked somebody? You tricked like a boy into eating a worm or something?
No,
I don't know.
None of that. It was like, I would go to school and then, you know when your mom asks you about your day? I would just do a 10-minute set. Like, I would just, like, you know, I'd have and then I'd close with, like, and I want a snack, you know?
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of that thing where it's like, and then I found $20 at the end of a boring story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fun, though. So you just started making up stories.
Making up stories, because, like, it's just the burbs. It's just boring people.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to make your own fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's probably... So your parents were, like, your main audience when you were...
Oh, yeah, big time.
How many siblings do you have?
Just one older sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you are the youngest. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like, from what I've heard, like, dynamic-wise, like, the youngest are typically the ones that try to, like, break the tension, if there is any, between, like, the parents and the older sibling.
Yeah.
Because the older siblings usually just fucking up, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, I definitely... My sister, like, you know... She beats, like, she's the kind of, like, I'm the only one that can hit you. Like, you know, like, nobody else can.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But she does beat the shit.
But she beats the shit out of me daily, and if anybody is listening, I need help.
But Romy, blink if you're actually okay.
Yeah, clap twice.
Yeah. That's fun, though. Yeah.
When did you get into comedy, like, when you were young?
Well, so I was going to relate, like, just storytelling-wise, like, even in, like, the first... I think it was like second grade. We had like show and tell, and you could like bring in anything. You could bring in a story that you wrote. So I had this insane action duo called King Fofo and Queen Yo What Up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was just these stories that were just run on sentences that would go on, and then it'd be like, and then another monster came through, and then another one, and they like beat them up, and it's really, they were dogs, by the way.
Okay.
That were
Fufu, and what was the other one?
King Fofo and Queen Yo What Up.
We would not have been friends.
Not in second grade, Romy. You would have loved me. Well, because they were all made up.
Yeah.
You would have added like a realistic element to my.
I would have humbled you.
Yeah, probably. I think so. I actually did like a podcast episode where I just read the story back to front. It was like, at that point I was just trying to get as many pages as I could. I'm like, I can write 30-page book if I wanted to. Yeah. But again, it's just like a run-on sentence where like another monster comes out, and then another one, and another one. And that's actually the writing process for every single Marvel movie that comes out now. But comedy for me actually was a little different, because like I said, I started more with like sitcom shows, things like that, like again Big Bang Theory, but then I got really into like South Park, and then It's Always Sunny, all the classics, and I didn't really start like watching stand-up even until probably mid to late high school, and I got super into Louis C.K. because I think I actually got into stand-up by watching Louis the Show first. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, he does stand-up, and the stand-up's funny. Yeah. And like, that's kind of sparked the interest. And I think it's like with any fad that you really have, when you first get into it, you just consume as much of that content as you can. So I started watching like a bunch of stand-up comics like all at once. Yeah. To the point where it's like, I couldn't do that again.
No, it's too much.
It's right. Well, with the amount that we go out and like see.
Yeah. Oh, I can't watch stand-up anymore. It's just like I see it every single night.
Absolutely.
And it's not always great, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes bad stand-up is better than great stand-up.
More entertaining for sure. It's like, I don't want to hear you kill, dude. I want to hear you bomb and say some offhand shit like at Friendly Lounge on Thursday. Yeah. Well, so I also heard a little rumor that did you do improv back in the day? Oh,
that rumor mill needs to be squashed. No, I did. No, I did it for like 3 years. It was really fun.
How old were you?
16, 17, 18.
Okay, so like, who gave you the balls to start at 16 to just like,
It's just, I don't know, ignorance is bliss. Like, well, I did speech and debate in high school.
Oh,
and
really?
Speech is like exactly kind of like stand-up.
That's actually fun.
It's like a scapegoat. Like,
yeah. Well, so again, I want to cover the gap of how you went from like telling fake stories to your parents to getting into like, I guess you were probably getting good grades, right?
No.
Not at all.
Terrible grades. Were you good in school?
I was decent. Yeah, I wasn't bad. Yeah, why?
Terrible. Yeah. Well, you're funny, so I just assumed you'd have shitty grades.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Not important. Not
okay,
important.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I barely went to high school.
Really?
Just ditched every day.
Wow.
Yeah. Barely graduated. Truly. And so
speech and debate, so that's like an academic thing though, right?
It is.
That's what I'm saying. So again, how are we getting from the white lies?
It makes no sense, but I love speech and debate. Like, I took photography in high school, and my photography teacher was this guy who was like super chill, like smoker, like you could just tell. And he was like, you've been missing for 30 days in a row. And I was like, oh, really? And then he was like, you should do, and there was Philly Improv Theater. He was like, you should do this. And I was like, I don't know, because he knew I was funny, like in class and stuff. And he was like, but you're more than a class clown, like whatever. He was like, you should try this. And then I did that, and that was, took off from there.
And then it took off. Okay. Yeah. Is there a reason why you would ditch school all the time? What were you doing in place of it?
I was bad at school.
Oh, so you
I was like, this is the worst. And my best friend lived a block away, and she had an outdoor ping pong table. So we'd like show up to...
Sounds kind of ghetto, I'm not going to lie.
It kind of was, yeah. It was like, you couldn't play correctly because part of it was in the grass, you know?
That's what I'm wondering.
It was like playing ping pong in Interstellar.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like years pass while you're playing it too.
It's like we graduated.
Yeah, basically that's what it sounds like what happened.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Your parents like, how was school today? And you tell them the whole story about how you went to school.
Yeah, it's like, we started here, we did that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm curious, what did you learn in like the debate thing though? Like, because I feel like there probably is, I took a logic class in college one time just as like an extra credit basically. And there was like a lot that I learned, and it was just basically breaking down arguments and, you know, making sure that each, you know, argument didn't have a fallacy and that it followed like a certain logic that the philosophers figured out way back then, which is crazy. But I mean, the main thing that I got from it is that like a lot of people are just saying statements nowadays that just don't even make any logical sense.
Right.
It's almost, there's one called like, ad hominem, basically, where you're in an argument with a person, and then they're like, well, yeah, but you can't trust this source because of this reason. It's like, well, you can't just attack a source as an argument. Like, that's not part of the argument. I don't know, things like that. So with debate, did you learn anything in that sense?
Debate, I did a little bit. I did like Lincoln Douglas and stuff like that. I didn't like that because you needed, I don't know if it was LD, but you needed a partner for some of them, and I was like, I gotta go solo.
Oh, really?
I don't want to like, you know, because if you lose, you blame your partner. So I did impromptu speech.
Really?
So that's where like you'll get a topic. It could be anything. It could be like Halloween, or it could be green, you know, or like a quote. And then they give you 5 minutes in a hallway to prepare, and then you come in and you do 5 minutes. And you just
it's like I took a public speaking class where that was like an exercise once, but I could see you being just really good at that.
No, I won like the Pennsylvania something. I have like a certificate.
The Pennsylvania something.
Yeah.
You can't make up a name for that, but you can make up an entire 10-minute speech.
Yeah. But no, that was like fun.
Yeah. So this sounds like it's like been ingrained in you, basically. This improv. Basically.
No, it was like dumb. Like I'd be called into my counselor's office. He'd be like, "You're failing math," and I'd be like, "Yeah, but I got this speech and debate tournament I gotta go to." He's like, "That doesn't make any sense."
Yeah, that's crazy. So you did make it through high school.
I did. Probably not legally. Like if you were to look at like
the books,
they definitely like curved some stuff for me. Like
really?
Oh, for sure.
You were that hilarious, I guess.
Yeah. My guidance counselor came to one of my shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So this is really like something that you've been really, really into your whole life.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. And do you, I guess like your style, do you see like your parents in them at all? Because like I'm trying to figure out like what really kicked it off for you, but it kind of just sounds like you just wanted to do it. It was just like natural.
My comedy style? Yeah. Well, it's interesting because my mom talks really fast. And my dad talks really slow. And I think I kind of hit the medium, you know, like my pacing.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. Well, how did the improv go, though? Like, because I've heard a lot of people, I know, I feel like Jackson is, like, super against taking any classes or anything, but some people...
Shut up, Jackson.
Like, before I came in to do stand-up, though, like, I always had this idea where, like, it'd be good to do improv to, you know, be quicker on stage, where some people, open micers, are like, yeah, or you could just do open mics and get quicker on stage.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, like, the big debate, like, improv, stand-up. They're two different animals. I mean, I think I did improv at UCB before it, like, shut down, Upright Citizens Brigade. In New York, and that was fun.
Oh, so you like did it then?
Yeah, well, not like on a team, but like it was like a week summer thing.
Oh, okay.
Crashed.
That's still pretty hardcore.
It was fun. It was really hardcore. It was like 6 hours a day, and
6 hours of improv.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
But it definitely, I don't know. It gives you bit ideas. It definitely makes you quicker.
Okay.
I think. I haven't done improv in a while because of COVID. Like, they couldn't get a bunch of... My brain has, like, slowed down. Like...
But you still would do it?
Yeah, I would definitely do it. It's fun. It's like you just do crazy shit.
I feel like it'd be fun. I mean, I've seen some improv shows, like college improv shows, where it seems like they're trying to make things... It's just not funny to me.
It's just not funny.
Yeah.
Dude, we had to go see an improv show that was, like, part of the deal, like, part of the class. And we just see an improv show. It was, like, a Tuesday night, 10 o'clock. And I was like, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
It was one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Stayed for the second show. For, like, the 12 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Hell's Kitchen, Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, yeah.
Wow.
It was really funny.
So that was probably a good... So, like, I guess I haven't seen... Like I said, I saw it at a college show,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Professionals are probably hilarious.
I can only imagine if I went to a college improv show. I was in college for a little bit.
Yeah,
I dabbled.
Well, I kind of wanted to ask about that too, but it kind of makes sense now that you're telling me about your, like, high school history.
Yeah.
Because I was going to... Like, what I had in mind was that you, like, went to high school and then you, like, knew you wanted to do something, like, kind of artsy with it, or, like, you know, with comedy, and then went into college to try it, and then you just dropped out from there. But it sounds like you had a history of missing school from the top.
From the top.
Yeah.
Well, it was like a miracle I got into college, regardless.
Yeah.
And Emerson's not a shitty school.
Yeah.
It's 30% acceptance rate, you know.
How'd you get in?
I wrote a banging essay.
Okay.
I mean, it was so good, and, like, you know, subtle flex, but it was pretty good.
What did you write it about?
I wrote it about my hair. That's how insane it was. I don't know. It's just some weird essay that was like a metaphor or whatever. The
college, like, the guy that's reading over it is just like, he's like, can you send me a piece of your...
No, I literally, at the end of the essay was like, if you want to see my hair, like, you know what you have to do. So, yeah, I got into Emerson. I got into Bennington College. Just some...
Same essay about hair?
Yeah. I got into some shitty schools, too. And then I was like, you know what, I'll do Emerson, because it's in a city.
Right.
I'll be able to do stand-up.
Yeah.
And then I got there, and I was like, this was a mistake.
Was it the same? Why?
Well, I had... Because we were... Because I was, like, on track. Like, I'd been doing stand-up so hardcore for so many months. Like, 2 mics a night. Like, what we do now.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, it was so hard to, like, get around. And, like, they weren't... I don't know. The Boston scene was not as, like, good as the Philly scene.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in what way? Like, it wasn't as competitive, or?
There just weren't as many mics. They were more, like, spread. They were, like, an hour away. And, like, and I was like, I can't do that, and school, and, you know, da-da-da-da. And the comics were just, like, not as good. Like, it sounds like, I don't know. From what I saw, I was only there for a little bit.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, and I kind of, like, expected... I went back and did a showcase when I went home for Ohio. Like, for, like... but then I was like, oh, I'm going to walk into this, like, this dinky-ass, like, open mic. I wasn't expecting, but it was, like, a showcase.
Really?
And all the people there were, like, at least, you know, late 20s, early 30s. And there was, like, an old white headliner. And I was like, I didn't know what to expect. And I went there, and I was, like, definitely the rookie. Like, these guys, you have to imagine that a lot of people that want to do stand-up go out to the city and probably still have, like, a day job, but, like, really try their hand out there. And a lot of people probably don't make it, right? And so your day job takes over. And then at some point they get a family, and then maybe move into Ohio, right? And to retire. But they still do stand-up. So I imagine that some of the people I saw had been doing stand-up for like 10, 15 years.
Right.
And just got really good, but didn't, you know, it didn't become their main thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, going out there and seeing that scene was like, I was like, yo, this scene is actually, like, really intimidating.
It's fire,
it's crazy. Yeah. So it's weird to hear that, like, Boston scene is different than the Ohio scene. I don't know.
Maybe it's like sour grapes. I don't know. But I don't know. It was just like a weird time. It was like, yeah.
Definitely.
But
how does God influence you in your?
He's with me in every performance.
Okay.
Obviously, right. And you know, I pray before each. No.
Do you believe in God?
God, I mean, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm not that religious, really. You know.
That's my favorite question.
I just want to get canceled.
Are you conservative? Are you liberal? Which one? Both?
Who I voted for, you know who.
You know.
the good one.
Kanye.
Kanye. Yeah, I voted Kanye.
Yeah. Well, so, like, with all your experience, doing a stand-up, open mics and things like that.
Yeah.
That's weird, though, because I thought you just started when, you just showed up at the Philly scene, and you assume when you see new people there, you're like, oh, they're starting too.
Right.
But no, so you've been doing it for a while. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it wasn't as consistent as I am now.
Okay.
Like, when I was 16, I did shows here, and then I performed at my sister's college, which sounds more official than it was. It was like a frat weekend, and they had like a showcase or whatever, and she got me on, and that was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Really? Why?
Well, it was just, you can say, it was just like 110 frat guys completely wasted.
Wow.
Just shoveling food in their faces, and I'm like, anybody here travel?
Well, and that's my other question is, like, what would you write jokes about as a kid? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of older comics, or at least comics that I talk to, say they write based on experience. And I feel like when you're that young doing it, you're based, your jokes are like based on Twitter memes, maybe?
Twitter. No, my set. I mean, I could do my set from when I was 16 now. Like, it was just dumb. I think it was like, I talked about my neighbor.
Yeah.
And
okay.
She looked like, I was like, she looks like homeless Barbie or something. It was very rough. It wasn't exactly great. And my set was that, and then it was talking about my drive to school, because my neighbor would drive me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of school stuff.
A lot of school stuff.
Because that was like my main,
experiences. That's
exactly.
What I'm saying.
Yeah,
so, like, wouldn't your audience be like high school kids too, or?
Well, no, these were college kids, but.
They got it.
Yeah.
They weren't that far removed.
Yeah. No, none of my friends know I do this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Total secret.
So this is what perplexes me, because it sounds like it's like a big part of your life. Like, it's a major part of your life. But who are you around, like, your friends that don't think you do comedy?
I don't know what they think I do. Like, I told them these are my best friends of like 10 years.
Right.
And they just think I'm like a bum. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're just like living at home with
Right. They don't know.
Well, so do you have like a path in mind? Like,
I mean, I'd love to get to New York. That's
really?
like
that's the goal.
The goal.
Yeah. Would you do like SNL or something?
I mean, if they threw it my way, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that'd be fun. That's like a perfect mix of like stand-up and improv a little bit.
Well, and the other thing again is, like, you obviously watch like documentaries and TV and movies and things like that. Is there anything else like that interests you within outside of comedy?
Like, do you mean like making a sketch show, or like completely outside of comedy?
Yeah, I mean something like that. Would you be
love to
interested?
have a sketch show.
Really?
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to make like sketches and stuff. No, I really like movies. I don't think I could ever make, like, I would want to write a movie. I find directing like exhausting.
No, it's gotta be.
Yeah.
For sure. And would you like include like, I don't know, I only know you as like a joker, right? So like, do you see yourself doing any like serious themes or anything like that?
Like Robin Williams, like like
yeah.
Dead Poet Society and then Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine doing anything serious. I mean, I just love joking.
Okay.
Like,
well, I mean, the reason I asked though is just because, like, taste-wise, right? So, like, you like, obviously, really, really good films by, like, Scorsese, and I don't know, I find that a lot of people, some people are very judgmental about films, you know what I mean? And about...
Yeah, I listened to your review of Whiplash.
Did you actually?
I listened to parts of it. I didn't get to the end.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, it's not that good, but it's whatever.
I thought Whiplash was good.
It was such a good movie.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, one of the best movies ever, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think...
it's a really good movie.
Yeah, a really good movie about ambition. I think that, the message there is, while it's very serious, but it's like, you just can't let anything hold you back. Even
yeah, you gotta have the grind.
The grind.
Do you ever have nights where like you'll do like a set or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, I'm quitting. Like, not only am I quitting, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
Every night I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself, and then there's only been 2 times where like I'm quitting. Like, I'm done. I'm gonna get my real estate license. Like, that's the big joke in my house. Like, I'll come home at like 3 a.m. and my dad would be like, how'd it go? And I'd be like, gonna reapply tomorrow, like, but.
Yeah. Well, with you, I don't understand. Like, here's another question for you. Do you ever think that you'll peak early like Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, somebody said, not only that one, but someone else had said to me, your career, in quotes, whatever, your career is gonna plateau. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I feel like you're just getting, like you said, you just started doing it.
Yeah, I'm just getting started, you know?
Super consistently.
Yeah.
So I don't see how you have nights where you want to give up. Or like,
oh my God, are you kidding?
Because you kill. Like, I feel like you kill so much to where the bad nights make it worth it.
One time, and I'll tell you who this is, like, after. One time I did a mic, and it was the Nacho mic, I can say this.
Okay.
And they had asked me a question or something, and then part of my answer was, like, someone in the audience. And that person's face, like, all the blood drained from them. But, like, I didn't mean to be mean. I literally went home, and I was like, never again. Like, I can't get on stage again.
Yeah.
So bad. But now I've perfected the art of yelling at people.
Well, and that's what I was gonna ask too. Is like, so roasting is a big thing for you, right? And so I don't feel like I could do that without actually being mean. You know, like where's the line? Like, how did you learn to tiptoe along that?
Well, I mean, there is a fine line. I mean, in my house, like, we all insult each other, so I think it's like I've been practicing for 20 years. Like,
that's funny. It's funny how much your family plays into your molding.
Yeah, it's upsetting. This isn't me, but this is a true story. Ryan Foster apparently roasted somebody, and the girl he was roasting, like, she wrote out a list of things he, like, couldn't mention, and then at the roast he had printed it out. Was like putting it everywhere. But to me, I think that's hilarious. Like, if you're in a roast, there should be no boundaries. Like, once you step in the ring, like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't do it if you can't.
If you can't take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And so is that your mentality going into it? Like, nothing is off limits?
No.
Has there ever been anything said to you that really hit home?
Oh, yeah. I'm 7-0, I think. And my worst, the most hurtful roast was the Chris D'Elia one.
Really?
Yeah.
Which joke did he do that really... Chris, we're calling you out right now, but...
Yeah, sorry, Chris. Well, I just freaked out because this was like a while ago, and I was still, like, you know, walking on eggshells at Raven and stuff. Because getting in is hard.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, part of the scene.
And his first joke was like something, and she's only 19, right? And I was like, oh, fuck. Because the bouncer was in the back watching the roast. Damn. And I was like, am I going to get carried out of here? Yeah. And then he said, like, Monica Lewinsky. And I was like, shut the fuck up, Chris. You fucking bitch.
Well, that doesn't sound like the most hurtful thing. There's somebody said something about your age.
Yeah. No, I was just worried. It was, like, more like panic.
Little panic.
Little panic.
Yeah.
It was, like, my first one, so I was nervous.
That's fair.
But we've seen some bad roasts.
Big time.
Usually they're good, but sometimes it's like, oof.
It just gets ugly.
Friendships end.
Well, it's the ring, so I mean, if friendship ends, maybe it wasn't that good of a friendship before then. But we don't have to get into that, you know. No.
Raven's the best.
Raven is.
I hope it lasts forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's the longest running open mic so far. I don't think they're gonna, unless they made it through COVID, you know. They made it barely.
They invented COVID.
Actually, I think that's where it originated.
It's actually Wuhan is the street name. I like it because you can say anything. Like, no one's recording you. Like, you don't have to be, you know.
Yeah, there's no line. Like, say at some like
South House. Like, you got to be a little more.
Yeah, because there's gonna be people there.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Raven, it's gonna be either dirty people in there or comics. Yeah. And so they all know.
I think the comics are the dirty people.
Yeah, or a mix. Yeah, a mix of the both for sure. I do remember seeing you at well, and that's what I'm curious, like, for showcases for you. Do you find that you have to, like, cater to a different demographic? Because I did that one, like I said, back in Ohio, and it was just, like, all adults, right? And it's like, oh, I've been doing my stand-up in front of 20-year-old comics and writing jokes to make them laugh for the past, 8 months.
Well, I definitely read the room.
Okay.
Because I have, like, different, you have, like, your different set lists. So if it's, like I did Sunken Ships in Ashburn, New Jersey, and it was all, like, just frat, like, you know.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like the weed jokes are coming out tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. And then I'll do, I'm trying to think if I've ever done, like, with an older crowd. Yeah, and then I'll do, yeah, it just depends.
Because you can't do school jokes with, like, an adult crowd.
Yeah, so I'll, like, switch it up. And then I'll, like, riff, I don't know. Yeah. Play with them a little bit.
How long do you think you could go in a set without doing any material?
I did the Ortlieb show last night, and that was 10 minutes, so.
With no material at all.
I mean, maybe there was like 2 jokes in there. Literally 2 jokes. I just went after this one girl. She was like, I'm a painter. I was like, shut up. I'm going to post the video. I will show you.
Really? Did it murder?
It went pretty well.
It went pretty well.
It was pretty good.
It's so humble. It's so humble, Romy. I did want to talk about this too. You talked about it on Akash's podcast about like style, and that is something that some comics do roast you on sometimes for like the plain Jane. But like, how much of your like with like I guess there's some how much do you think like personality and like off of the stage and your clothing and things like that play into how well you do on stage?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't know. Whenever I'm doing a show, I'll never wear like a shirt that has like writing on it or anything. I'm always like plain is best because like you don't want to distract them. It's like you never wear shorts on stage. Yeah. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know, that's my own personal philosophy. No, but like style, yeah, it is important. Everybody's got their own style in a weird way. Like, I was doing a show, and 2 people went after me, and then after the show, they came up to me, they were like, we've been watching you do too much comedy, like, we're copying your pacing. Like, I mean, she was like, I'm telling my jokes in your style, and I was like, I know, I heard.
Yeah.
But I think we just hear each other too much.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's an echo chamber that you just, like, copy. I've kind of noticed that, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think there is something to your style. And so, do you find that, I don't know, like in Boston, did a lot of comics have the same type of pacing and style? And the other thing is, like, you've been around stand-up so much. I'm curious as to what you find is, like, a common denominator for a lot of the people that you meet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of comics are, like, bad childhoods, obviously. Like, that's a common denominator. But all the comics that I've met are, like, beyond nice.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane how nice they are. Like, they would do anything for you, you know? Like, even when Akash was like, I don't know where I'm going to live, Jackson was like, you can crash on my couch. Like, we both want to, like, it's just the name of the game. Like,
right.
Yeah, but, and then there's also horrible comics that you're like, leave me alone, you know? You're like, if I never saw them again, I'd be happy.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
But, no, but I find that we watch so much comedy, like, I just don't laugh anymore. Like, I laugh starting at 8 o'clock, you know? Like, nothing in the day. Like, I see, like, shows that have Emmys, and I'm just like, eh.
Really? Not that good.
Not that good. But some people have jokes. Like, I was just telling someone this the other day. James Moss had a joke he did at 2 Street. I think it was just, like, a throwaway. Like, I don't even think he used it again. And I thought it was so funny. He was like,
yeah.
He's so good.
He's done that to, like, I brought up a couple jokes like, I'm never going to do that again.
I know.
I'm like, why?
I'm like, can I take it? Like,
can I have that?
Yeah. He had a joke. He was like, I love gaslighting my girlfriend. Like, she was like, I'm butchering it, but he was like, she was like, hey, can you clean the dishes? And he was like, you know everybody hates you, right? He said that like 5 months ago, and I was like, that is so funny.
Yeah, he doesn't do that anymore?
I haven't heard it.
Wow.
But when he's on, I walk out of the room, so.
you know his stuff. You know his stuff. Yeah, so what, I did want to talk about that experience too. What was that experience like for you, like the roasts building up to the James Moss? Because that's a big...
It was a big one.
That was a big one. And it took some time. You know, you did... Yeah. How long was the span when you first started the roast here to when that happened? Probably
like months, right? Yeah. They did it like every week or every 2 weeks.
Right.
But yeah, he's had the belt like 4 times. I think I've had it 2. Yeah, he's like undefeated 4-0 or something. Like with the belt championships. Yeah, I'm either... So next week it's going to be Jeff Colella versus Rusty Wright. And then I'll battle whoever wins that one. Okay. To get the belt for a 3rd time.
Yeah. Well, and so how did that feel? Like on the come up, you know, you're first starting out. Was that the first time you did roast, like a real roast battle when you first came here? Mm-hmm. Okay. And were you I was like invigorated after the first one? So scared.
I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I was nervous.
Okay.
Definitely nervous. I hadn't really seen them. And as I say, like I was like touch and go with Raven at the time, like only getting in sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. And then Jamie and I roasted, Jamie Pappas. Right. And I wanted to die. Because you're just roasting yourself. Aw. People really think we're the same person.
Yeah. I don't see why you'd be roasting yourself. I feel like you and Jamie are 2 completely different people.
Well, thank you. Yeah. No, but that was a good roast, I feel like.
And so, and so as you started, continue, you got 2 wins, you got 3 wins, did it really start to, I don't know, feel good, and like you started getting that confidence about it, and really started feeling comfortable at Raven too.
Yeah, definitely. And the writing became easier. It was like a formula almost.
Oh, really?
Because I do my first joke is like a look-like joke, like look, and then I'll finish on like my strong one.
No, so what's the formula, Romy? What do I?
Yeah,
let me get the actual. Yeah.
Let me get pen and paper. But people ask me to write roast jokes for them now too.
Oh,
I kind of ghostwrite them. Yeah.
Really?
So if you hear a good roast joke at Raven, I don't know, maybe it's me.
No, that's cool. Yeah, and then the build up, and then you knew you had the one with James Moss. Was that like a big thing for you?
That was Were you there for that one?
Yeah, everybody was there for that.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
They didn't record that one, but
how did they not record that?
Because Drew he just opened at Helium, and then I think everybody got
out of wax, out of sorts.
But that was a really fun night.
That was such a good night. Yeah,
it was a great roast too.
Well,
he could have taken it. I mean, he had some really good ones.
He did. Yeah. You do look like the backup in dodgeball that they would pull out.
It's very good. I think about that twice a day. Yeah.
Really?
No, that is a really good one.
Yeah. So I mean, I know you said you want to move to New York, but do you have like a is there like an end goal, or is there like a major milestone that you are looking forward to doing?
Well, the dream is like to kind of have like a Sandler situation. Like I want to have all my buddies like all the time, just because they do like stand-up tours and stuff. And
right.
I mean, how much fun would that be if we all just had like a giant bus and like did stand-up at night,
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be fun. I want to like keep people close. Like, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, because you didn't have any friends when you were a kid because you never showed up to school,
exactly,
right? And you were just a lone wolf, and now you want to make up for that.
Yeah.
Moving forward, but I mean,
it's cathartic.
Well, but I think what I'm really interested about is the fact that we're starting now, and all the people we're starting with now. We are so young, you know what I mean? And really, any of us, what's gonna happen in like 10 years? Who's gonna be where? And if you're able to like, make good bonds and connections now, like how much that's gonna help you at least like supportively and like, I don't know, just the connections you make and things like that.
Yeah, I think there's a big part of comedy that's like, sometimes it's really not how well you do on stage. I think it's truly like who you're friends with. Yeah. Like sometimes I'll see like a lineup for a show and I'm like, no. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, because this person is friends with, which is not a bad thing. Like, God bless, But I think, just try to be nice to everyone. Like, I try to not have, like, a reputation or anything of, like, being a dick or, like, whatever.
Having too much drip. You don't want to, it kind of goes with the, like, blank slate type of thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be, like, the dick or, like, the alcoholic or whatever, whatever. You just want to
BFG.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah, I just want to be, I don't know. I want to do well in comedy and want everybody to, like, think of me as, like,
Romy,
a good person,
Yeah,
and it's hard to not be labeled a bitch when you're 7-0 in roast battle. So that was one of my jokes for a while. Somebody had DM'd me after the roast, and they were like, "What's it like being the biggest bitch in Philadelphia?" And I replied back, and I was like, "It's fucking awesome."
Well, yeah, and that's funny though too, because like I didn't, off stage you are not like somebody that would really. I mean, I'm sure you've been mean to people before, obviously, but it doesn't come across as like, oh, she's a mean person and she's only good at roasting because those are her real thoughts, But yeah, and then like the dream though, like that's also like a noble dream to have. It's just like, it's not necessarily, I mean, Adam Sandler, to be as popular as he was, that'd be fun. But I mean, even just like a little crew that makes enough to travel around and just do that would be such a good time. Yeah,
like I love Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah.
He's great. Like I just love his vibe. Like he has like 1 or 2 shows or whatever, but he just does stand up. He's not on like the red carpets or anything.
True.
It's like, or like Larry David, like he's killing. Like it's just like to have your show and like.
Yeah, you just need one show that has enough of a following. And actually, when I think Pete Eckenroth was on Akasha's podcast, he was talking about how like if you do stand up long enough, like over 10 years, right? If you get like you know, you get a little bit better every year, and you get like 8% more followers every year. Even if you start at like a small amount, eventually you're gonna have enough people that follow you to just support you, you know, or have some sort of small stream of income, you know.
That is a very interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you just do this long enough with enough of your friends and have projects and different like ways of you know, you do improv shows or sketch shows and, you know, little videos here and there, you're gonna get enough people that are like, Romy Rosner, she's like the Eddie Murphy of 2022.
Because of the blackface, that's why they think I'm Eddie Murphy.
Exactly.
It's like you can't fail in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, even not funny people are stand-up comics. Like, I'll see a stand-up comic, so I'm like, this is not funny at all. Like, I don't. But it's somebody's niche. How do you deal with like the stress and the anxiety, like before a show? Do you get nervous?
I think I used to get a lot more nervous.
Me too.
Then after doing it consistently, not as much. I found out that I'm like an adrenaline junkie, which is the rock climbing. That's where that comes in. But like coming back after like this 2-week break after like the COVID thing or whatever, like I was getting nervous before going up on 2th Street last week.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It felt like the first time.
Yeah, honestly,
did.
It did. But again, I think that's kind of the part of the appeal, you know what I mean? Is that rush? It's like, how do you handle it? Oh, I don't I don't handle it at all, and you can see it when I go up and do stage time. Sometimes, you know, I rush through sets and things like that.
Yeah, do people come up to you and they're like, oh my God, I could never, like, how do you do it? I'm like, I couldn't hold a 9 to 5, so God bless that you can do that. This is the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Sort of, but.
Yeah, barely.
Barely.
No, I was kidding. Yeah. It's weird, though, because it's similar in a way where I think people box their, you know, fears, like I moved out here from Ohio, right? And a lot of people are just like, wow, a lot of people couldn't do that. I'm like, well, you just move here. You just take a car and then you're there.
Like, pack all your stuff.
Yeah, and then you're there. And it was like, I don't understand what the hard part is.
Yeah.
And, you know, the hard part, I guess, for some people is just taking that leap. And so, like, you know, getting up on stage, like, how could you do that? It's just like, you're here, stage is there.
Yeah.
Get up on the stage.
2 steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like
Come
a
to
mental...
2th Street if you want to try going.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like a mental fear that they have, right? And it's the same way, like you were saying, like some people, like, I don't know, some people wouldn't want to, like, rock climb. It's like, that just seems, like, insane. Like, up on, going up heights, you know, heights is a big thing for some people. Doing a 9 to 5, you know, getting boxed in. I'm surprised that's a big fear for you. It's like,
well, I just couldn't, like, it would just seem like pointless. I don't know. It just seems like miserable.
Yeah, definitely.
I like to be a little more wild, do a little more fun stuff.
Do a little more crazy stuff with it. Well, and the thing about a 9 to 5 is, like, you know, not everybody lives with their parents, Romy.
It's true. It's true. Thanks. Shout out to my mom and dad. They want me out.
They want
They're
me to
done.
leave so badly.
So badly.
Well, but the thing is, like, you know, that is something that I think, you know, comics like us do have to put into perspective. Is like, you know, I have a white family at home, where if anything goes wrong with me, I can always just crash with them, you know, and come back home. Whereas a lot of people don't have that. And it's hard to, like, I guess that's a completely different conversation, because the people that are like, how do you get up on stage? It's not because they're scared of, you know, failure. It's they're just scared of
success.
Being a bitch. Yeah, of success. I like that. That was definitely the better direction than I was gonna take it, for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a risk it kind of. I'm like, fuck it. Like, every time before I go on stage, I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
We're all gonna die. It's just like whatever happens in between is fucked.
Yeah, it takes a lot of balls to just drop out of college and, you know, just start doing stand-up, right?
Do you know what's funny is that the office that you had to go to drop out is called the Office of Student Success.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I called my dad. I'm like, hey, by the way, I just dropped out. And he's like, what? Where are you? I'm like, the Office of Student Success.
You didn't even talk with your parents about it beforehand?
Oh, no.
Really? How did they feel about that? Wait, hold on. Actually, this is one thing I did want to talk about with you, because that's like, I'm not, you know, this is a big life decision.
Yeah.
And I don't know, how does that process go for you?
Well, I will answer that, but I'll tell you, the week when I came back, I was doing a mic, and I bombed, and somebody had gone on after me, and they were like, you know, Romy, maybe you should go back to college. Oh, man. But it was so fresh, and I was like, oh, that hurts. Yeah. That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts real deep.
That's one of the ones, for sure. Yeah, I remember talking to you afterwards, after I heard about it, and I was like, "Are you sure?" Like, that was... I felt bad, because I didn't want to, like, put the doubt in your mind, but...
I know,
I
remember talking to you, and you were like, I don't understand, like, so it's official? I'm like, yeah, it's official.
Yeah. So, walk us through the process here.
So, showed up to college, got my roommates. I was, like, in a suite.
Right.
And
you moved in.
Moved in completely.
Everything. You did the whole...
Shirts in the drawer.
Wow.
Alcohol stashed. Weed under the pillow. No.
That'd be a stinky pillow. And you gotta sleep and smell.
Or would it be a great pillow?
Or would it be an amazing pillow? All right.
That'd be like a cool idea if you just like had selling like sheet covers that smell like different things, like a scratch and sniff, but it's your pillow. It's just like one's weed.
A vanilla one.
A vanilla wafer. Yeah.
Coffee would not be a good pillow, I don't think, because you'd wake up.
You could use that one to wake up.
Yeah, you flip it. You flip the side. Yeah.
One smells like dinner and one smells like breakfast.
Hell yeah. Damn, we should get patent this.
Seriously.
Dude. Let's get it going.
Don't post this. We're gonna go
comedy. We're gonna do entrepreneurship.
We're going on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, dude. One of my roommates was the daughter of Fleetwood Mac.
What?
I know, right?
The daughter of Stevie.
No, she was the guy's daughter.
Lindsay Buckingham.
And then the other girl, she was weird. She was like red haired. She was like, I'm from Georgia. And I was like, oh, pleasure to meet you. Whatever. Because I try to be nice.
She was weird because she was from Georgia?
Of course.
Yeah.
And and she wouldn't stop talking about her sister. And I have a sister too. I don't really bring her up that much. And another roommate comes up. She's like, yeah, you know why she talks about her sister that much? She's an actress. And I was like, all right. Everybody's an actress at some point. And she's like, you ever see Stranger Things? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you know Barb? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, that's her sister. And I was like, oh, that checks out.
What?
So it was like random.
Yeah, how did you get in a room with the daughter?
With an A-list.
Yeah. The daughter of Fleetwood Mac and the sister of Barb. And
the night we moved in, or maybe it was the night after, one of the girls had gone to the John Mulaney show. Oh, nice. Which everybody was anticipating because like it was this post-crack.
Yeah.
And we were all like, how was it? And she was like, yeah, it was really good, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I do comedy. And they were like, oh, but you're not funny. And I was like, you haven't even given me a chance.
Damn. Yeah.
So it was rough.
Privileged people, you know what I'm saying?
Beverly Hills bitches.
Beverly Hills.
No, it really wasn't that. It was just like the school was shitty and like the classes sucked and I don't know.
Was it like the same thing that you felt in high school where you're like, this is not, you weren't good at it or you just didn't want to do it?
Both.
Okay.
I was like, both. I was like, if I don't know. I feel like when you're like 18, I don't know. I was 19. I was like, if I don't, I just got to give stand-up one fair shot. I'm like, because I'm always like, my worst fear in life is regret. Like, what's your worst fear? Do you have like regret?
No, of course, everybody. Yeah. Nobody wants to regret anything. And I mean, yeah, that's for sure one of the bigger ones. And I think you know, within how deep in were you? Like a week? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna give comedy a fair shot, right? And you're not gonna, like, for me, like, I was already in school 2 years in before I had any idea that I wanted to really, like, give it a fair shot. And at that point, you're already, 2 years in debt. And then you come out here and it's like you're in debt and you got to pay off your stuff. And I don't have a family out here. Whereas, like, again, if you had that idea and you really did want to give it a good shot, like, that is the best time to do it because you probably didn't have to pay out. Did you have your debt?
No, I was a week, so I got my money back.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I had to get out that night. They were like, you have, like, 4 hours to move out.
Damn.
Yeah, I, like, threw my key at the front entrance girl. I was like, see ya, bitch. And the girl who worked at the front entrance was in one of my classes.
Wow.
And I was like, see ya.
Yeah. And then how did your parents respond?
They were honestly pretty happy.
Really?
They were like, well, A, we don't have to pay.
Nice.
Yeah. And they were like, I think she could be okay at it. So,
Yeah.
And then it's like little milestones, It's like, and I hadn't even been on a showcase at that point. Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
How long did that kind of like, again, you said like a week after that, it's something like really stung, right?
Oh yeah, it hurt for a while.
Do you still think about like it being the right move?
Yeah, definitely.
All the time?
I can't imagine can you imagine me in a classroom? Come on.
Yeah, not anymore for sure.
No.
Dude, I thrived in classrooms though.
Really?
You probably would have, like you said, your teacher knew when you were there you were funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I had a great time because like
Really?
that was one of the things that I felt like one of the reasons why I wanted to get into the entertainment industry is because when I was in a room of a classroom, I didn't accept this person as the authority of the room. Like, yeah, you can teach me a subject that I know nothing about, but I also have like my own thoughts and like I'm gonna challenge something that you say. Like I'm not. You have to raise your hand. It's like, yeah, but you never pause for me to like make my point.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk.
No, and you're very articulate, but it's like teachers hated me in high school.
Really?
Like I had meetings because like I was threatening teachers were threatening me. I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck you, Madam Allen. I hated her.
For what reason?
She hated me. I don't know. Like, I had one teacher. I had like a 7 in the class, like a 7.
That's not great.
Which honestly,
out of what?
100. Which is honestly impressive in a weird way, because how could you?
Yeah.
And I went to talk to her, and I was like, "Listen, I know let's put our differences aside, okay?" And then she got so angry, she crumpled a soda can and like threw it by my head, so it like just like.
And then you sued?
No. And this was in a classroom full of kids.
Yeah.
But people were so like nobody like cared or noticed her.
Wow. Yeah. That's kind of sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
She was the worst.
Damn.
Her knees like broke down later in life and I was happy about it. She got like 2 knee replacements. I was like, yeah, suck it.
I have this friend that there's this teacher from 8th grade that last Christmas he like messaged her and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Canio, I just wanted to say you were the worst, one of the worst human beings and teachers in the world or whatever." And she's like, "Oh my, I hope you're joking." He's like, "Actually, not at all," and just like doubled down on it.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I hope you have a very nice year or whatever, something like that." And then he came back again this Christmas and just sent another one just to really reiterate that how much.
Yeah. Do you ever have like dark fantasies where like you're on stage and like I don't know, like somebody you had a crush on in high school is watching you like kill or like do you know what I mean? Yeah. I have that. Like I'm always like, I want them to like, yeah, like if you could only see me. Yeah, exactly.
You want them to know that you're the bitch in this scenario, exactly. Even after they.
I have no interest in becoming famous. Like I don't care if people know who I love being anonymous. I think it's funny.
Right.
And I just want the only reason I'd want to be famous is for my teachers to be like, damn. Shouldn't have. I shouldn't have fucked with her.
Shouldn't have thrown a can at her head.
Yeah, seriously.
Damn. Yeah.
But don't you have any of those where you're like, oh, I just want this person to see me?
Not necessarily. Really? Yeah, I just I think you gotta be holding grudges. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hold grudges hard.
Yeah, no, and there are for sure some people. I don't know. Again, I try not to think about them too much, and it's easier for me though because like I'm out of Ohio. You know what I mean? So it's like. It's more I just want to show my parents. Yeah. Really want the approval of them, but yeah, I don't know. I don't seek approval from people that I was angry at back in the day.
Can't relate to that.
I'm roasted, boom.
Like when you kill, are you ever like, oh, I'm so glad like so and so is in the room because like you really want them to see you do well, like. Absolutely.
I mean, that's why like even you, dude. Like I want to like do well when you're in the room because it's like you guys are. This is what I've talked about with a lot of people and. I don't know if I've ever said it to you directly, but like I started around the same time as you guys. Like Romy, Jamie she's been doing it for a while.
Been doing it for a while.
But she, Chris Alio, Seth Lerner, that squad. The guys.
R.I.P. No, just kidding.
Yeah, seriously, where he's just gone. But yeah, I started with you guys, and you guys are just so fucking funny, dude. Like you guys kill as much as I see anybody else kill around here. And I feel like you guys are like miles and miles beyond where I'll ever be, right? No, I know you're humble or whatever, you can humble, but seriously, you guys are good. And like, for me, it's like, again, just to be in the room with you guys and like, be doing comedy and like I made Chris Alio smile once on my shitty set that I had on Tuesday and I was like that's all I needed like
when George laughs
like,
yes
dude that's really all I need.
That's all you need.
Yeah, just because like again those are the people that I want to see me do well and of course I want like a headliner to come in and watch me like crush or whatever. But I don't know. It's never in spite of anybody. I'll say that. It's like, yeah, you probably thought I was shitty. yeah, never like that. But seriously, it's cool to walk with you guys. I don't know. I tell people I walk with giants out in Philly. Seriously.
No, it's fun when we're all like hanging out at 2 Street. Like that's the fun. Like 2 Street is like when if you unwrapped it, it's miserable. Like it's cold, but
it's a tiny bar.
It's a tiny bar, but then we're all together. We're laughing, having fun. Like that's the like.
There's not like any pressure there really. I feel, and that's what I need to get better at. I think is.
No, I get so nervous.
Yeah.
I get bad.
When I'm comfortable, I feel like I can actually be myself. So, like, at the Friendly Lounge, it's like, I feel so comfortable in there. Like, on Thursday, there was, like, 5 people in there, too. And I was like, oh, I know everybody here.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was pacing really well during that set. And then, again, that showcase where I was, like, definitely the rookie back in Ohio, I just sped through everything because I was like, I've never been in this bar. Yeah. I don't know anybody here besides one person, and they all hate me.
No, I struggle with, like, the anxiety and the times. I used to be like an early to bed, like not like crazy, but like now God. I'm nocturnal. Like
seriously,
if my days are flipped,
No, and that's another reason why like making that decision to go full out on comedy is really good for you because like that's that's your day is the night,
right?
Which is kind of depressing to be honest with you.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in the daylight in a while.
Seriously,
I'm like, I don't want to see you to see me in the daylight.
No, but yeah, because I work 9 to 6 every day, and it's like for me now, if I want to do comedy, it's like I have to make the commitment that I'm gonna get 5 hours of sleep tonight, and I'm gonna work the entire next day. And that's, I guess, everybody that's gotten this far. Like, again, you're smart that you made the decision that early. Timely, exactly. Yeah. Because once you get wrapped up in the debt and then you get wrapped up in a job, it's like then you have to work around that. And to fully commit now, if I wanted to fully commit to comedy, it would have to be like, once I could do it, right? But and then I have no steady source of income. Like I would quit my day job, no steady source of income. I would be like. It would definitely be a motivator, that's for sure. It's a fire under your ass to be like, you need to start booking shows so you can make money and you can do this sort of thing. But it's just a completely different path than, say, starting when you still have some sort of cushion with your family and like,
for sure.
Yeah, like I would have to create that cushion myself with my job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just being nocturnal.
Yeah, I try to I think to myself, like, how do I get better? And then I'm like, I do all these mics every night and it's just like, I try to think of ways like, how can I improve? You know what I mean? Like I try to write every day, but it's sometimes like when you force yourself to write, it doesn't work. So that's always tough. I'm trying to I don't know.
Yeah, well, and
like put reps in.
Well, that's what it's about. And I don't know if you listened to the one with Tyler and Manny. They came on, and we talked about this a little bit. But at some point, like you can put as many reps in as you want, but like the best jokes are the jokes that just come to you. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Or just like click, something clicks, right?
Yeah.
And so I think an important part about getting better is doing what you're doing with the reps and going out consistently, and just surrounding yourself with comedy. So that way, when you're not like in it and you're not thinking about it. Something could, takes time and something just clicks and it just like works because it's like a natural thought that you have. Yeah. But I mean, obviously just doing it and surrounding yourself with it is going to be one of the better ways. Jamie
and I have been going to like more shows to like that we're not even on, which I like didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I didn't really know too much and we've just been going to shows and it's just like, it's produced a lot of material for me. Just like hanging out with comics, being like, when you go to the supermarket, you're in like autopilot. Right. Like you're just like looking at colors. Really. You're like, I need a small yellow and you're like lemon, But when I'm like with comics, I'm like on
go mode.
Yeah.
You got the flips.
The wheels are turning.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how you get a joke. I think is like when you put that helmet on. So the more time you spend in that mindset, the more material you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and so the thing about being on though is like, I don't know, then it's like exhausting.
It's
right?
so tiring. Yeah. It's so I don't talk all day. I'm so tired.
Right, but definitely being in that, and that's the hard part with especially like probably a lot of comics, especially me, but like with drinking and like smoking at all is like it makes it easy to not have your brain turned on, right? And it's like I want to say that being on a lot does help. But also, the other thing about shows, like, I went to the Next in Line show last night. And
oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Like, going to shows where there's not a lot of pressure, if you're not going up, I think gives you another angle and opportunity to think about jokes. Like, I wrote probably 3 things down while I was at that show last night, because I knew I wasn't going to be going up. But it's almost like you hear somebody tell a joke about a topic and you're like, oh, why didn't they explore it in this way?
Yeah.
And then you can write that down and explore that topic.
It's an extension.
Absolutely.
But it's like endurance too. Like, I remember starting out and doing like 3 minutes, like just at Nacho, and being like, oh, I'm tired. What can't believe it? And now I do like 15. Yeah. You know, I've done like 15. That's probably the longest I've ever done on a show. Is probably like 17. Really? Because I was doing pretty well and the guy just didn't like me. But I was like so tired afterwards. Really? Because you're talking for 17 minutes straight, you know? It's tired.
Yeah. And I think, you know, the being on stage is a combination of not only being on, but being able to, like, rehearse things that you had previously. It's almost like a different mindset, like a different skill set of, like, rehearsing and performing versus being on and creating in the moment, you know? And that's, like, a good balance that I see you have. Like you said, like, I mean, being on is enough to just do no material, you know, like at the mic last night. You can just be on upstage and just, you know, talk and be funny, right?
Just yell at people.
You're like creating in that moment. But the performance aspect of it, you know, doing a Raining Men joke.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Yo, Logan Mallon, he comes up to me, he goes, don't ever tell that joke again. I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, it's gone.
Fair enough.
It's in the trash.
Yeah.
I think it made sense in my mind. So many people were like, I hate that joke, and I just scrapped it.
Yeah, you liked it enough to tell it a few times, though.
So, way too many times.
And then you kept calling the raven an eagle or a bird?
I mentioned that at Thursday. I was like, Steve McJones told me. Yeah. It looks like an eagle. Come on. I mean, I guess I don't know what a raven looks like.
Apparently.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, and this is something I talked about with the Kosh too, is like balance on stage. Being able to really, I think be yourself on stage, but also, and being yourself is going to be that yourself in that on mode and creating while you're up on stage and being able to perform the things that it's almost re-imitating when you had it the first time, like naturally, and having that performance aspect to it as well. Yeah. Which is interesting.
I mean, I think you can, like, I feel like I'm definitely myself when I riff, because I'm like, it's just off the dome. Exactly. But when I do jokes that, like, I know work and, like, are, like, my whatever, I'm just on autopilot. Okay. Like, don't you have those jokes where you're just, like...
Yeah, but I feel like they're not as funny if I let them be as autopilot, you know? Like, you have to add...
It's hard.
Yeah, you have to add, like, some natural, like, riff sort of things in those jokes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get into it. But yeah, I think that's probably a good, like, you know, kind of wrap up moment. I don't know. Do you have shows or anything that you're excited about coming up soon?
Yeah, I'm hosting at Helium on Wednesday.
Okay. Really? At Helium?
Yeah, should be fun.
That is going to be fun.
And I'll be at Khyber Pass at the end of January.
The end of January. Okay, so this probably isn't going to come out till next week, so nobody's going to hear about the Helium, by the way, from this.
That's cool. That's fine. They'll be there. I'll invite them in person.
Yeah, but the last show at the end of January is...
it's like a Rob Brooks show. It should be fun.
Okay. What day, where at?
That's going to be January, and it's going to be... I'm going to make you wait for it.
It's in January, for sure.
It's January 29th.
January 29th.
Show, side stage comedy, Khyber Pass, bar, pub. I don't know. Yeah, January 29th.
January 29th. At what time?
Like 8 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, you know, the usual.
Come early. Yeah. Come, I'll be there early having a panic attack as I always do. Buy me a drink. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Because
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for recording. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Romy, for blessing us with your presence on my podcast. And thanks, everybody, for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you have a very, very nice week. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. Amen. Okay, bye. Yeah, my name is Romaine, and my sister's name is Ashley. Who do you think our parents loved more?